Um, I really don't.
Not lately, to be honest.
Although few studies have examined the effects of news on consumers' affective state, it is commonly understood that news can and does psychologically impact those who consume it, but not always in the ways we might expect. While affective data has already been utilized for recommender systems, the application of affective feedback to news consumption is an unexplored space. There are no commercial products or applications designed to bring ordinary news consumers awareness of their affective state while consuming news. Our idea, React, aims to change this. The primary objective of our project was to see how the introduction of the prototype we developed could lead to human values emerging surrounding the application of affective feedback to news consumption. We endeavored to explore what awareness of affective data might mean to people and how designers can leverage emerging human values in order to develop socially meaningful applications within this space. React is an application that enables users to have greater awareness of the magnitude of their own reactions to particular news stories. It is comprised of a smartphone app and a wearable bracelet. When the smartphone app is open, the bracelet measures the user's real-time galvanic skin response, or GSR. This data is then sent to the smartphone app, which provides the user with a more detailed report of their reactions to varying news stories. The bracelet component of React is intended to be worn regularly by users, but it will only turn on once users open the React smartphone app and press start after finding a news story to read and inputting its URL. As users consume the news story, the bracelet will measure their GSR. When they are done consuming the news story, users can stop the tracking, which will also turn off the bracelet. The smartphone app will then provide them with detailed data about their GSR. Additionally, users may compare their own data to that of other anonymous users who have consumed the same news story. Consistently using React will build up a history of data for users to reflect on. Users can begin to understand their own reactions within a wider context. Our initial prototype of React enabled us to identify emerging human values surrounding the application of affective feedback to news consumption. We held workshops where we got participants to reflect on their own and others' GSR data that was generated while reading various news stories. Our main finding was that people saw value in the social potential of the application, specifically the ability to compare their own affective data to that of others. However, our initial visualization didn't quite provide what users were looking for. They wanted to be able to make inferences with the data, not just see numbers. The main question participants in our workshop had was, is this data really worth knowing if I don't know the people it's related to and if I don't know their belief systems? Our final iteration of React responds to the human values we identified. This version of our prototype allows people to draw correlations between affective data and particular attributes, for instance, age group, location, political stance, and occupation. By using React's filtering tools, users can examine trends within the data and compare their own data to the average data of very specific user groups.
I would be very interested in knowing others' people's affective data, especially if such data was broken down to show how particular demographic groups were affected more or less strongly than others. I believe that this would make the differing values between age groups, religion, gender, and etc. more open. And this would also lead to a greater understanding of how others in the community feel about certain topics. I would value awareness of this top data because I believe that with greater understanding of how strongly other people feel about certain topics would also come greater empathy towards others and could possibly change the way we talk about specific topics. I would like to see this data become part of the social consciousness when talking about impactful topics and social policies, as I believe that increased empathy towards one another could result in real positive change for those most affected.
React adds a new dimension to news consumption by allowing users to make more sense of the impact of news on themselves and others. This makes news consumption, which is typically a very individualized experience, social. By allowing users to correlate this data with specific attributes of others, React can enable diverse groups to gain better understandings of each other.